What's up, guys? Show you Ken again, back here with another Street Fighter 6 video. It's probably the last time I kind of talk about this until something new happens, whether we get a new reveal, new trailer, new information, right, overall, or until when that next beta comes out. So, kind of just want to talk about the game and what other people are saying, and the talk between like pro players and casual players, and just my overall feel for what I've been hearing, and certain mechanics and how people think things can be abused or taken too far, and my thoughts on just that overall thing. So for instead, I do have to always make this noted that if you do like Capcom content, then please think about liking, sharing, and subscribing. It would definitely mean a lot to me as I'm on this journey. So with that, let's get right into the video. So yes, I said Street Fighter 6, the beta finished about a week or 2 weeks ago. I mean, I know you're still seeing matches being popping up on YouTube. That's because people have recorded so much content that they're able to upload for several days. And there was a hack, I know, where people were able to continue to play the game even though it had been closed. But Capcom went ahead and put a stop to that hack, and so you can no longer play the game if you had it. That's kind of the pitfalls of having PC betas, right? Because when it comes to PC form, it's easily hackable. Although I do know that happens to consoles as well, right? It's not just PCs. I just know it's easier on a PC, but consoles can be hacked too. So anyways, but nothing major. Of course, there was some data mining thing where people found some sound files of characters. I didn't really want to talk much about that because you didn't really learn a whole lot, right? You just learned about certain moves and certain characters, but you didn't really learn a ton of information, right? It wasn't groundbreaking or anything, so I figured no need to even discuss that. But the game's been out, or not out. The beta was out. People were playing it. As always, it looks phenomenal. Matches were looking really good, really smooth. The online was looking great, and also the quality of the matches were looking better, right? For a while, like when we just had the whole Ryu, Luke, Chun-Li, Jamie videos out, the level of play wasn't really that great. Like some were okay, but some were really lacking, so you didn't get to see these big, in-depth, cool combos or cool mechanics. Now we're seeing the game being broken down, right? We're seeing these pro players or players who know what they're doing, or at least had experience playing Street Fighter play, and they're showing and doing some really cool things. I mean, the stuff Kimberly was doing was straight up off the wall. Everybody, right? Kimberly, Ken, Chun-Li, Guile. I mean, just everyone looks really good. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the case when it comes out. They're going to make cuts and nerfs. Not everyone can be OP at the gate, unfortunately. But right now, it's looking fantastic. The big, discussion was on drive impact, right? You had a lot of pro players arguing that, or not just pro players. I don't want to put it all on them, but you had just a lot of players saying that the drive impact was looking and feeling a little overpowered, right? It was like it was too powerful. It only cost 1 bar, and it really changed the flow of matches, because if you get hit by a drive impact, you're stunned and the person gets a free combo on you, and then if you get hit by it when you're next to the wall, even if you block, it's a wall bounce, you get stunned. It seemed really powerful. And that's also when you're doing it, there's like an armor, right? There's a shield on you, so if I do drive impact and then somebody tries to hit me, I'm gonna go right through that punch. I'm gonna keep going until I connect with that person. Now, if let's say I do drive impact and then they hit me 3 or 4 times, no, they're going to break my little drive impact shield and knock me out of it, and then I get punished, right? But still, a lot of people were complaining and thinking that this mechanic is a little too powerful, especially for something to only require 1 bar, which I did mention in the previous video. I thought that maybe it should be 2 bars, but on second thought, I'm thinking about it. No, I think 1 bar is fine. And yeah, a lot of people were saying that this might be too cheap, especially for new players, because if you look at the lower level matches, a lot of the lower level players were just spamming this move over and over, right? Because it's really cool, it's visually stunning, and it's powerful, right? You get to pretty much gain the upper hand on the opponent when it lands. And so people were worried that, oh my goodness, we're going to have a bunch of matches where that's all we're seeing. Drive impact, drive impact, drive impact. People just doing that shit back and forth, back and forth. And I was a little worried about it at first, but then, I'm thinking like, you know what? It's just because these are the new players, right? When you're a beginner, you don't know much. You don't know the mechanics. You don't know the ins and outs of the game. Especially some of these people are just new to Street Fighter, period, right? So they have no idea what's going on. So suddenly they're being told, hey, if I push this button, I can do this cool little move. Yeah, I'm going to keep hitting that button over and over because I don't know what I'm doing, right? I don't feel confident enough in my ability to do anything else. So naturally, those players were going to spam those moves over and over and over again, And so that caused certain players to complain and say, hey, this is cheap. No, we got to do something about this. This is bad. This is boring. It's going to be a spam fest. I don't want to deal with this. It's overpowered. Essentially, players are going to be doing this and able to get the upper hand, whatever the case, right? I started thinking about it, and the more the matches I saw, because when you see the higher level matches, you don't really see Drive Impact being spammed like that, right? And there's also a really good reason for that. It's because Drive Impact, it's powerful and flashy, but it's also easy to negate, right? If your timing is correct, so let's say I do a Drive Impact, right? And you notice, and then you do a Drive Impact second, you will stop me. Right, the second Drive Impact is always going to beat the first. There's never a scenario where the second doesn't beat the first, right? If we do it at the same time, then we just collide and clash, and we go back to our separate corners, right? But if you do it second, you're always going to knock me out of my Drive Impact, right? And then there's also, like I said earlier, if I do a Drive Impact and then you suddenly hit me 2-3 times, right? So you do 3 quick jabs on me, you knock me out of it. I'm out. Now it's still not ideal, right? I still think certain players will struggle with this, especially the timing, but there are ways around it. And I think when you get to the higher level matches, you saw people weren't abusing this. They weren't, because they know better, right? If I'm going against a pro player, they're gonna know. I can't just use that move over and over. Eventually they're gonna say, oh, okay, guess what? I know how to counter this. Every time you do it, I'm gonna do mine, and I'm gonna win. So then that's quickly gonna teach you, oh, you know what? No, that's not going to work. Let me do something else. So when I saw that whole mad rush by certain players, oh, we got to nerf this and nerf that, it kind of annoyed me. Because I feel like nowadays that's always the first thing people do. It's immediately, this has got to be nerfed. This has got to be changed. This has got to be tweaked, right? To my liking. Because I want to play this way, because I like this. This has to be changed to suit me and my needs. No. Don't do that. If something is genuinely broken, like there's an infinite, that can't be stopped, right? Or there's a move that's glitched that can't be blocked. Something along those lines, I absolutely understand. It's game breaking, right? It's game breaking. Like that's not cool. It's not allowed, right? That's not fun. But if there's a mechanic in a game, yeah, it's powerful, but it's not like game breaking, especially when there are easy ways around it. Just deal with it. I feel like sometimes some players, I don't know if it's a generational thing, I just feel like we're so just needy and just constantly, things always got to be tweaked and looked at. I remember when Street Fighter V was first coming out and the beta dropped, or the demo, whatever, and it looked alright. It didn't look bad, right? It looked actually kind of fun, from the combos you can do and all that. It looked okay. And then I remember immediately people were complaining about the game, the speed of the game, and how it was broken, yada yada yada. And then what happened? Capcom neutered the hell out of it, and then we got what we got with Street Fighter V when it debuted. Now no excuse for not having an arcade mode or anything like that, but still, in terms of the gameplay, things changed. And I don't want that. I don't think Capcom's gonna do that now, because you don't really hear that grumbling a whole lot from people. You don't hear like it's everywhere where they're saying, oh, this has to be tweaked and changed. But still, I don't want them to kind of change anything of the game, right? I want people to kind of just learn to deal with it and adapt, right? Get better. Figure a way around it. Back then, we were playing Street Fighter 2, Sagat's Tiger Uppercut could take half of your life if he hits you correctly. If he hits you at the right angle, that thing legit could take 50% to 75% of your health. Yeah, it was cheap. You were like, what the hell? It's not fair. None of my moves do that. But guess what? You worked around it. You're like, well, I gotta look out for that. I gotta make sure I don't get hit by that. Just make sure I'm on my toes, right? And now it's just immediately, nope, take that out of the game. Nope, tweak it. So I don't want to say people are whining. I don't want to accuse people of whining, but it does sometimes feel like that, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm a casual player as well. I'm not a hardcore player. I don't, live and die by this stuff. I'm not sweating playing this, as they call them, sweaty players now. Like I don't. I'm a casual guy. I go in, get my cheap thrill, fun, and get out. Right? I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to be a master of the game. I don't need to learn all this frame data and safe on block and my plus and minus. I don't need any of that. Right? It's cool what's in it. It's cool that some people like that. It's cool that they take it to that level. Awesome. I'm not knocking, And you play how you want to play. You enjoy how you want to enjoy it. But I just think that, from the fun aspect of it, you gotta leave some of the stuff in, man. You cannot forget casual players. You don't disrespect the pros, of course, right? Because that's their bread and butter. They're going to be there. They're the ones who are going to constantly continue to play your game and put it on the map and be in tournaments. You do need them, right? There's always a debate between pro and casuals, and one group always thinks they don't need the other, but the truth is you need both, right? So as pro players need casual players need pro players, right? You guys help keep that alive. But the fun factor, you don't want to lose that. You don't. And we need fun factor, right? That's one of the things that, first person shooters like Call of Duty and all that have, one of the big advantages they have. Because you immediately can do cool stuff, right? You can do cool shit immediately. You get a controller. You never played a game before in your life. Never played a Call of Duty game in your life. You get a controller. Oh, this button aims, this button shoots. Boom, 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 boom. Immediately I can do damage. I'm doing stuff. I might not be killing people, but immediately I'm hitting people up, right? Or I might be killing people. Either way, I'm already getting that feedback, that positive reinforcement. Oh crap, I'm doing stuff. And so then I want to continue. Then I want to get better at the game, right? You play a fighting game, if you don't know what you're doing, it's just you're helpless. It's over. It's finished. And then if you can't do anything, if you can't do cool things, then you don't really want to play, right? That's why Dragon Ball games usually do successful, because you hit one button, you do a special, you're doing all this cool shit and fantastic. Now I'm not saying that Street Fighter has to go that, dumb itself that down. Fighting games to be that easy. But you've got to, make it easier to do things for some people, right? You got to make the entry point a little easier. And I already know I'm going to hear the arguments, well, you know what? We didn't do that. We just learned. Yeah, you got to understand, though, the times were different. Back then, for us, fighting games, Street Fighter, that was peak gaming. If I wanted to play games, right? If I wanted to play games with you, you know what I had to play? I had to play Street Fighter 2. You had to. If you wanted to play games, you wanted to play with your friends, whatever, you wanted to be the cool kid, you had to play Street Fighter 2. That was peak game. That was gaming. It wasn't let's go play Call of Duty, let's go do this. No, it was play Street Fighter. That was the pinnacle, right? So because of that, you had to get with the times. Well, I gotta go play this. It's not like that anymore, though, man. There are so many other titles out now. Fighting games, that's why they're so small now. There's so much for people to do now. Oh, I don't get fun in this game? Cool. I'll go pop in this game. I'll pop in Grand Theft Auto. I'll pop in Call of Duty. I'll pop in NBA 2K. There's so much. There's so much out there. You don't need to get your fun from a fighting game. A game that causes so much pain. So you've got to make the entry point a little easier. You just have to. I'm sorry, you have to. It's not the same time period. It's not how it was for us. So I just think, having easy, cool stuff, the whole simple controls, that's a fantastic feature. I know people were scared about it, but no, you've got to do that. It's the appeal of Smash Brothers. It's why Smash Brothers is so beloved. Not just for the characters and the addictive gameplay and the modes and content, but it's because it's easy. I can give it to my 6-year-old cousin or friend and immediately start playing. Oh, I hit this button, I do that. This button does that. That button does that. Cool. So, let's not lose sight of that, right? Let's not lose sight of the fun aspect of it. So, yes, if something is truly broken, then yes, it needs to be fixed. But if it's not broken, if it's still a cheap way for fresh and new players to entertain themselves and have fun and get, feel like they're doing something, then leave it in the game. We need converts, right? You need every fresh player. You need fresh blood. That's how this stays alive, right? If we just rely on, these sweaty players, no, these games won't be alive, or at least they will, but they'll be in a small little corner. So, just want to get my 2 cents out there. As you can tell, I'm definitely passionate about this issue. Because again, I see both sides, right? But ultimately, I consider myself a casual player, so I see and want to address the needs of from a casual's perspective, right? We need both communities, but this whole rush to just constantly do this, do that, change this, change that. No, let's let the game come out first, and if something truly is broken, then yes, it'll be fixed. But right now, from what I saw, Drive Impact doesn't look broken. It doesn't. It can get annoying, yes, if you're dealing with someone who's just spamming it, but then you can quickly deal with that if you're a pro player, or if you know what's going on. You quickly know how to counter it, and then guess what? When you show them that, they're going to say, oh shit, I can't do this anymore. So, let me go ahead and end this video now. Been talking for a minute. But as always, guys, thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. I always like getting my thoughts out here. I like talking about these games. I love fighting games, and I want this community to grow, and I want more. So I'm really passionate about it, and we'll always talk about it. In addition to just, Capcom games overall. So again, if y'all love fighting games, but specifically love Capcom stuff, Capcom fighting games, Capcom games and content, then I'll say it again. Please think about subscribing. It would definitely mean a lot to me, and then definitely give it a like, right? Apparently, liking videos really does matter. So I'd really, really appreciate it. So with that being said, as always, guys, please take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.